Hi, and thanks for logging on to the Daily DVAR Halacha. And here's a brand new halacha for you, and it's for Friday, 11th day of May, 26th day of IYAR. We are now just over a week and a couple of days to Shavuos, so more explanations about all things Shavuos right now. You know that on the morning of Shavuos, outside of Israel, it'll be on the second morning of Shavuos, we're going to read Megillas Rus, the story of Rus. And we should be explaining to you why that happens specifically on the holiday of Shavuos. There are several reasons given. Some of the simple reasons are because right at the beginning of the story, the Navi tells us when the story happened, and it happened during the Shavuos season. Okay, so during the harvest season, and that already makes it a little apropos to being read on Shavuos. Also, the Jewish people, if you don't realize it, on the holiday of Shavuos were kind of sort of like converts because they had no nationhood yet. They weren't Jewish people yet. And until the holiday of Shavuos, when they accepted the Torah from God, that's when they became converted into the Jewish religion. Well, the story of Rus, of course, is about a very brave person from the nation of Moab, that's Rus, who converted into Judaism, and her fortitude and diligence in becoming a convert and having to deal with a lot of poverty and everything shows the tremendous resilience of people who were dedicated to Judaism as she was and as we were, as we became a Jewish people out in the desert on that first Shavuos ever. So those are two famous reasons. But probably the most famous one of all is because Rus had a very strong desire to marry into the Jewish nation. She specifically wanted to marry into some family that would get her close to the dynasty that comes from the Shevet, from the tribe of Yehuda, and she did end up marrying Boaz. And when she married Boaz, she ended up having a child, and her great grandchild later, coming from that marriage to Boaz, ended up being David HaMelech, King David. So what does that have to do with Shavuos? Well, we know from the Gemara that the birth date and also the yahrzeit, the day of the passing of David HaMelech, of King David, was exactly on the holiday of Shavuos. So the story of Rus becomes she is the ancestor of King David, of Melech David, King David, and because of his greatness and his arrival into the world on Shavuos and his departure from the world on Shavuos, and she is his great-grandmother, so we want to mention that on the holiday of Shavuos, and that's another reason why we read the story of Rus on the holiday of Shavuos. Okay, thanks for logging on, and log on again after Shabbos for more. Have a great Shabbos. Bye-bye.